Okay, round 2. Let's go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I have the subtitles on this time, you guys. Get ready for awesome.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, truly a
Came
room
to
worth
drink
admiring.
it all in.
It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Get it? Okay. No.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I already did that, so I'm gonna go this way.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop it. Oh, what would I be lying about? I wonder if these are like plans for the building. I'm gonna go draw some buildings and contracts. It's like a warehouse thing. Let's see. There's a door that you can't go through because you can never go through any doors that aren't fucking open already. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death. Do you think?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley left from the platform and
It wasn't lying. It
Good
was
job,
not.
Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Thank you. Sorry, I had to try. Alright.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need.
Oh,
if
it's
I can
different.
make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Okay then. Please.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
No,
he
I'm
entered
gonna
the
go
door
back
on his
and-
left.
and-
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Listening to the same dialogue
Wow.
over and over again
Yes,
kind of makes you a
this
little bit
room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous,
crazy.
gorgeous room.
Okay, that's different.
Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
That dialogue was different, right? I'm not going crazy. Is he gonna say anything else?
Really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so
No.
utterly captivating.
whoa.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No. No. We're going back here.
Stanley
We're actually
was so
taking
bad
the
at
lift.
following
Oh
directions,
shit.
it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
We already died. We know how that ends. Let's go
Look,
to
Stanley,
do
I
this
think perhaps
properly
we've
this
gotten off
time.
on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone
shit,
else
I'm
can
up.
be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Oh, that's nice.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To
not
put
married.
your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
What? Why is it so dark in there? I don't want to go in there. It looks scary. Oh. Okay. Oh, God.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, Then pick up the phone.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm nervous. Hey, look,
Oh,
it's...
Stanley, is that you? Hold on, Stanley.
What?
Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
What?
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually
No.
think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm
What?
trying to make a point
You
here,
know, there
Stanley.
might be someone
I'm
out there
trying to
for
get you to
me,
see something.
sir.
Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now.
What? Okay. Oh, alright. Yes. I have to go hang out with this
This is a very
mannequin
sad story about the
lady.
death of a man named Stanley.
Oh, that's... Press Y on your game.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Have I chosen this life?
But in his mind,
Have I really?
in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
That's so depressing. Oh, I get to watch the TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
To spend time with the boys. I'm pressing left bumper.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls.
Are you kidding me?
And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions.
Yeah, I remember that yellow line.
Down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
I haven't seen the baby yet. To tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head, he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Yeah, just... What? I don't have a wife. I thought I didn't...
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be?
Yep.
In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons
I'm married to my work.
Nothing has changed.
You see
the
that?
longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
This is gonna change into... It's gonna... I'm gonna just go back to the beginning.
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world, he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Well, what if I don't? What if I do? What if I don't? If I don't, I just sit here forever and ever. With this clock ticking. Well, okay. I guess
You
I'm just
see?
gonna go to work.
Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself?
Am I?
How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
I'm not gonna question
Suppose I
anything.
can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this
I'll
time.
never see.
And I tried again.
Please die!
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Huh? Alright. Well, I guess I died. Oh! This is different.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nope.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was
I'm
sublime,
drinking it all in.
a work of art. What
I'm
was it about
drinking it
this
all
room
in.
that called so deeply and so
Oh, it's-
personally to Stanley? Its grace? Its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew it was something deeper.
Darker.
Something darker.
Ooh. Shit just got real.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Alright, let's take the door on the left this time.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I've been down there already, but I don't know if it's probably different, but I'm tempted to go this way. Okay, I have no direction. What happens if I go this way? Nothing. What's the point of having this here? Okay. Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Is Chris
Stanley
still in
decided to
the,
go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Chris is still in the broom closet, guys. Wow, these are great. Using slides to assure employees are... Oh god. Yes, bevel that text. It's the most important thing. Chris
Stanley
still
stepped
isn't
into
in
the
here.
broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley
I've
walked
already been
upstairs
to the
to his
boss's
boss's
office.
office.
I want to go somewhere else. Somewhere cooler.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might
How
be
did-
fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
I am
All
crazy.
of my co-workers
Because this
blinking
car,
mysteriously
there's
out
no
of
way for this
existence
car
in
to
a
get
single
into the
moment
space.
For no reason at all. None of it made any logical
How
sense.
is this car here?
And as Stanley pondered this,
Is this a
he began to
garage?
make
Maybe
other
that's
strange
how.
observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did
That's a good
doors close
question.
automatically behind him wherever he went?
Sound like... Oh,
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look
Okay,
pretty
what is
familiar.
B?
Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last,
Oh.
he came to the conclusion that
Okay.
had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons.
Let's just
I may as
keep
well enjoy
going.
this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh,
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up.
oh,
How was he remaining so
oh my God!
lucid?
This.
And then perhaps the
Thought that was
strangest
like-
question of them all entered
Oh, never
Stanley's
mind.
head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
That's a good question,
Now the
Stanley.
voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream.
How could it be?
Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
I'm
Now,
cognizant
hearing the
of what's
voice speak these
happening.
words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew
So
for
is this
certain,
ever
beyond a
gonna
doubt, that this
stop?
was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that?
I
This
don't know.
voice was a part of himself too. Surely,
Yeah.
if he could just...
Yeah.
He would
I could
prove
just
it.
what?
He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently,
Oh.
and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing
No,
the
Stanley.
buttons. Please.
There's better things in life
That's all
for
I
you.
want. I want my apartment and my wife.
I thought we didn't
And my
have a
job.
life.
All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
No, because we're gonna die
I
and then we're gonna
am
go back.
Okay.
No, you're not, Stanley. You're going crazy.
Stanley began screaming.
Did he?
Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please,
Stop,
just someone tell
Stanley.
me I am real. I must
Everything's
be real.
going
I must
red.
be.
You're
Can
gonna
anyone
die.
hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh, okay. That was expected.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh, Mariella.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
I wonder what he was
And although
talking
she
and
would
screaming
soon
to
turn
himself.
to go call
That
for an ambulance,
his
for
name is
just a
Stanley,
few
and he
brief
has a
moments,
boss?
She considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And
Why
then
didn't she
turned
call
and
the
ran.
police or something? Or an ambulance? How rude. Also, if you worked at the same place that Stanley did, you would be crazy too. So, F you.